Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, November 23rd. Some heavy rain came through the I-95 corridor region late last night, early this morning as a cold frontal system is passing through the area. It'll become quite windy over the next few hours during the midday and afternoon hours throughout much of the eastern U.S. and turns quite chilly tonight and cold on Tuesday with high temperatures confined to the 40s for the most part along the I-95 corridor region. It looks like there could be another rain event Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So the holiday week started off on a wet note in much of the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. It looks like the holiday itself on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, will start off on a wet note as well with some rain on Thursday morning. Maybe some late day clearing on Thursday. We'll just have to wait to see on that. The weather gets pretty interesting next week. First week of December, it looks like some cold air definitely moves into the central and eastern U.S. and maybe even a stormy type of pattern with decent blocking to the north, high pressure ridging. We'll see in a moment here building across Canada by the early part of December. Could pave the way for some interesting weather again during the first part of the month of December. This is the latest radar loop. Some heavy rain continues at this hour across New England, and again that moved through the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor late last night, early this morning. Even some embedded thunder. Colder air upstream causing some snow over the higher elevation regions. The winds will pick up in intensity over the next few hours following the passage of that frontal system, which is lying right now along the eastern seaboard. Way down into the 30s tonight for the D.C. to New York City corridor, and high temperatures tomorrow confined to the 40s for the most part. And then we'll have another rain event, it looks like, Wednesday night into Thursday. Some cold air still exists out in the western U.S., some snow across the higher elevations of the western U.S., kind of a mixed bag right in the heartland. Well, let's start focusing in on the possibilities for next week, the first week of December. And again, some interesting possibilities. It looks like there'll be a lot of cold air around and also a stormy pattern. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast map from last night's 6Z GFS. And we'll just walk through this and work our way into the beginning of December. There's some ridging here building in later over the next few days by the middle part of this week into the eastern U.S. And notice by the end of the week, this is actually Thanksgiving Day itself, Greenland dominated at that particular time by an upper level trough. But watch what happens as we progress into the early part of December. Here we are now pushing ahead quickly into the weekend. Still lots of upper level trough over top of the U.S. across Canada into Greenland by this upcoming weekend. But boy, does that change as we get into the month of December. Here we are now about a week from now. This is actually next Tuesday, December 1st, beginning of the month of December. Might be a heavy rain event late in the weekend, early next week that will signal a change to the colder weather pattern in the central and eastern U.S. And look at this high pressure ridging that starts to form across Canada by the early part of next week, and it becomes quite significant. Look at these anomalies here building. At the same time, you have some cold air, not brutally cold by any means, but some cold air in a deep upper level trough over the south central U.S. So this is a very interesting pattern here. Whenever you have high pressure ridging kind of building, and this is significant anomalies here at 500 millibars by the end of next week. Now we're talking a week and a half away, so this is all speculation phase, but this is quite an interesting look to the upper level pattern here with tremendous ridging going across Canada, really from the west coast of Canada all the way to the east coast of Canada, with deep upper level trough and some cold air down across the south central U.S. So kind of a stormy pattern with some cold air and kind of a high latitude blocking situation possible by the middle or latter part of next week. Again, we're talking about speculation phase here, but some interesting patterns here may form for the first week or two of the month of December. Well, let's kind of quickly go through the 850 millibar temperature anomalies over the next couple of weeks, because again, some interesting prospects for next week. Here we are now looking at the colder than normal air masses are shown here in blues and purples, and the warmer than normal in orange and yellow and red. And here we are by the middle of the week, basically warmer than normal across much of the central and eastern U.S. And again, there could be more rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning along the I-95 corridor region. This is Thursday evening, Friday morning time frame. Much of the eastern half of the nation warmer than normal. Then let's kind of quickly go through the upcoming weekend until and then get into the early part of next week. Again, some cold air outbreaks are coming into the central and eastern U.S. This is a week from now, next Monday, November 30th. Again, this cold air outbreak right here centered over the Great Lakes a week from now may be preceded by a heavy rain event in the eastern states late in the weekend, early part of next week. And then that kind of cold air kind of builds down across the south central states here as we have tremendous ridging starting to pop up across Canada, and associated with it will be some well above normal temperatures. But at the same time, we'll have cold air dominating the southern part of the U.S. So kind of an interesting pattern here we'll have to watch. We're all the way now to the end of next week, Friday, Saturday, next week, December 5th, December 6th time frame here. Look at all this. Above normal temperatures here, but below normal down across the south central U.S. Again, we'll have to watch anytime you get high pressure ridging building across Canada and on top of the U.S. It could lead to interesting winter type weather across the central and eastern U.S. Again, we're talking about the first week or two of December. Well, now let's take a look at the surface forecast maps. Again, a cold front just sliding through right now across the eastern states all the way to the east coast right now, and heavy rain in New England this morning. We'll kick on out of here by later in the day. The winds will become a noticeable factor throughout the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. during the midday and afternoon hours, gusting up to 30 miles per hour or so out of the northwest. Cold high pressure to the north takes control overnight tonight, and Tuesday, no doubt, will be a cold day. Colder than today. High temperatures generally confined to the 40s in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, below normal for this time of the year, with high pressure to the north in control. And then we have to watch the next rain system here. It looks like some showers move into the eastern states Wednesday night, lasting into Thursday morning. Looks like a wet start to the holiday itself on Thursday in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. That may kick on out of here by Thursday evening or so. Friday, Saturday look pretty decent weather-wise in the eastern U.S. And then we get to the end of the weekend, early part of next week, and here is that cold air outbreak coming across the Great Lakes a week from now. We're talking about the end of the month of November, next Monday or so. And again, there could be consolidation along the eastern seaboard. This is maybe underdoing it by the GFS, but there could be a decent rain event preceding that cold shot. The rain event would be early next week, maybe Sunday, Monday time frame, and then it turns colder, and we'll have to watch after that for some interesting possibilities. So again, an interesting weather pattern may be unfolding for the first couple of weeks of the month of December. That's it for now for PerspectaWeather.com. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.